everyone, the silent auction is closed. So you can now check your phones to see if you get all those gifts, and later in the evening you can go pick them up. Turn it over to Owie.
Thanks, Bill. Now I would like to introduce, if I may have your attention, please, there's another family I would like to introduce you to. This is, if I may have your attention, please. This is a wonderful family who has stayed with us at the Ronald McDonald House, and I think they would like to say a few words in appreciation to everything you have done for them. If you will watch the screens, please.
One day we're outside playing volleyball as a family, and the next day we're looking at an MRI that you just wouldn't believe until you saw it. It looked like there was a balloon in my daughter's head, and it was killing her. The part of the Ronald McDonald House that means the most, the safe haven of this place, the stories that are told, we shed more tears. I've cried here more than anywhere in this house. So when we come back to this house and we come back here, I mean, the walls, the things that are inside of these walls mean so much. And really, this house and the Ronald McDonald House and everybody involved, they understand the people in these walls are hurting extremely bad. And those dollars, every dollar goes towards trying to put a smile on a face.
We have definitely seen that money get put to great use here. I mean, we've been here for 8 years now, so we've seen it before and after the renovations and stuff. And even before, though, like, your money was always put to great use, always had food, always had a place to do laundry, you know, a place to stay.
It really, it means more to us than I could ever say into the camera. It really does mean more to us than anybody giving a dollar will ever know. And we'll go to the grave not being able to thank this community and this house enough for what they've provided for our family.
They call it the house that love built. But you know, there are a lot of other descriptions that you can say. You can also say the house of gratitude. Each and every one of the hundreds and thousands of families that we're able to serve, their hearts are so full of gratitude for people just like you. And you wonder, how can something like this start? How does one start a Ronald McDonald House? And it takes the vision of one man and a small group of committed people that are willing to go through the things that it takes to go through to make a dream a reality. And I could sit here all night and talk about Dr. John Folletta and what he has done for our house. But I also want to take a minute to tell you what he has done for the global charity. Back in the day, when he first presented the idea of a Ronald McDonald House in Durham and went to Chicago, they said, no, you can't have one. And his impassioned speech, along with some others with him, convinced them that we could have a Ronald McDonald House in Durham. And he impressed them so much that they asked him to be on their global board of trustees, where he served for over 3 decades and gave them wonderful wisdom and insight and leadership into making it the worldwide charity that it is today. Over 347 Ronald McDonald Houses in 37 countries, and countless other Ronald McDonald family rooms and care mobiles, and it all starts with that idea. And Dr. Folletta is one of those individuals that not only comes up with these ideas, but he's willing to do the things to make it happen. But don't listen to me. Listen to some of the people who were with him in those early days, talk about what it takes to start a Ronald McDonald House and the determination that Dr. Folletta had to make it happen.
John Folletta was the first person I recruited in the area of hematology and oncology. He was down in Texas, but John, having been in Houston, where they had a Ronald McDonald House, came here to take care of patients who needed lots of care and lots of time, and we didn't have anything like that. So the incentive to move along in that direction was very real.
And we kept coming back to Durham because John at the time was ranked #1 in children oncology care worldwide. And he was kind of the strength of us deciding to choose Durham.
So I think there was a lot of national recognition that was coming, not just the basketball teams, but the medical center. And I think they took a chance on us because John came with a committed board. We did get the money raised. We did have a very positive influence, and it was also the first house. We were the 13th house, and it was the first, quote, rural house. So we didn't have a big fundraisers by NFL teams or hockey teams or baseball teams. So it was local.
We were also the first house that didn't focus on children with cancer. We focused on children. Our philosophy was that children who are ill are first children, then they have a particular illness. But they're first children and their needs as a child need to be met.
Well, it was really kind of interesting at the time. The people in Chicago said it was impossible to build a Ronald House in North Carolina because in order to make it work at that time, they said you needed a governor, you needed an NFL team, and a mayor. Well, we still committed to it. We knew we could do it. So we came back to start the ball rolling.
Our daughter had been treated for Hodgkin's disease at Duke. Dr. John Folletta called on a Sunday afternoon in 1978 and wanted to come to visit. So John told us about Ronald McDonald Houses, and his opening statement was that Ronald McDonald Houses were not homes for retired clowns. We moved from that point to the idea that it took 3 partners to have a Ronald McDonald House, and he needed a parent volunteer component to be the 3rd partner in establishing this house. And he asked me to chair that group. And out of gratitude to Duke and to him for all the good things that had happened in our lives, I said, sure, let's go for it.
I remember the heavy involvement that Dr. Folletta had, that Sam Katz had. And I remember well Carolyn Penny because she was the first president of the house, and those people had a huge impact on me. At that time, I was relatively young, and so I carried the experience with me through my life and my McDonald's career via many other Ronald houses. John Folletta is a very special person, and I am just so glad that I had the opportunity way back when in the late 70s to meet him and get to know him. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Impossible. Can't be done. It's impossible. It can't be done. We have families right now who have sold their homes, who have cashed in their retirement plans, who have given everything they own to the doctors for the one chance their child might get better. And they come in with the pillows in the back seat of their car because they're totally prepared to sleep there for the 9 months while their child is getting a bone marrow transplant. I would do it in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? Of course you would. But because of Dr. Folletta and these fine people, they don't have to do that. We're able to show them the wonderful, clean, warm, comfortable room that they can stay during the time their child is being treated. We get to show them the kitchen where they can provide meals for themselves if they want, And at every night, a different group from our incredible community comes in and cooks supper for everybody in the house. We're able to do that because these people said, you say it's impossible, you just watch. One of those people I'm very pleased to introduce you to tonight is Dr. Sam Katz. Dr. Katz, would you come up?
The 5 minutes that's been allotted to me, there's so much one would like to say about John that doesn't permit one to crowd it all in. However, he's meant so much to Duke, to patients, to the people he's trained and colleagues, let alone the municipal, state, and national activities he's participated in his 38 years here in Durham. The only credit I can take is having recruited him here from Texas, but I have to give a lot of credit to his wife, Carolyn. Carolyn had a brother who was next door in Chapel Hill, so I think there was a little bit of family attraction to coming to North Carolina. John had to come from Kansas and Texas before he came to Duke, but he inherited and nurtured and rejuvenated a hematology and oncology program that was a little bit somnolent. But over the next years, he attracted new faculty, he attracted students, he attracted residents, he attracted fellows, and he mentored all these people. They gained so much from his personal attention, which was so unselfish. I was told that you could call him any time of the day or night, and you got a response instantly. There was no delay. And it wasn't just physicians, it was nurses, social workers, administrative staff. All of these people turned to John for advice and for leadership. In the 1970s, the challenges of treatment for leukemia and childhood cancer were pretty grim and pessimistic. And John, of course, has grown up in the era when there's been such a remarkable advance in the ability to care for these patients. But he, as you've heard repeatedly, appreciated that it wasn't just medications and surgery and radiation, but that you had to do something for each child so that his or her family were there to support them. And that was the genesis of the Ronald McDonald House. He was protective and appreciative of all of his staff. Everyone recognized his contributions to patients. His leadership was very effective, but never domineering. It was persuasion, not command. He was compassionate and empathetic. He was recognized not just at Duke, but nationally, municipally, statewide, and internationally for his achievements. And he served as a model. I wish every one of our faculty members could say the same type of approach that John has exemplified over these years. He's received many honors from different medical societies as well as municipal and state societies. He's mobilized the community, the state to participate and support. He's published hundreds of papers in medical journals. He's brought with him one of, I think his first fellow was Tom Kinney, whom he brought from Philadelphia. Tom also had ties to Durham in that his father was the chair of pathology. But Tom came and introduced the problems of sickle cell disease patients, and John immediately joined him, and they collaborated on a number of very important studies. I looked through a number of letters and papers that have accumulated over the years, and I selected some of the adjectives that they used. Different authors, people with medical backgrounds, families, studies, students, others, and I just wrote them down because I think you should hear them, because I can't put them all into a single sentence or my 5 minutes would be gone. But John was described as ethical, trustworthy, respectful, as well as respected, judicious, responsive, pragmatic, thoughtful,
compassionate, accessible to everyone, insightful, dedicated, and he had as an objective, I picked one sentence which I thought was most helpful. John Filletta is a cornerstone of this place being Duke. His love and respect for Duke, the health system and the hospital, and all the people he serves in his daily work shine through my encounters with him. John, as I said, is one of a special breed, and I wish there were more John Fillettas. John has brought to us and to all of you through the Ronald McDonald House a special feature that Duke was very fortunate to develop thanks to him. There are other people here tonight. You saw some, Carolyn Penny on the video, but John was the magnet that brought us all together and that led us into developing a Ronald McDonald House. He received many, many accolades, as I said, both national and international. And again, I won't repeat them all, except to let you know that he is recognized not just in Durham, not just in North Carolina, not just in the United States, but internationally for what he's achieved in the treatment of children with leukemia, with cancer, with sickle cell disease, and with other things. Two of his first fellows remain with us at Duke and have led programs that some of you may have been involved in. Henry Friedman, who has dealt with the brain tumor program. His wife, Joanne Kurtzberg, who's dealt with umbilical cord transplantation and has paved the way for results that are recognized again internationally. All of this is due to John, and I think that I can only say that one of the best things I ever did was to bring him to Duke. Obviously, we're gathered here tonight to honor an extraordinary physician and a very special person. That's apparent and true, but I've also been charged with a surprise mission. It is my honor and pleasure to invite to the stage someone equally special and worthy of recognition. I'm privileged to present to you all one voice from among the countless children whose treatment and care have been John Filletta's. It is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Brian Stewart.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am grateful to a lot of people for a lot of things. I'm grateful to my parents for raising me and for not murdering me when I was a teenager and deserved to be murdered. I'm grateful to my wife for marrying me and for staying married to me day after day after day. But I'm here tonight to tell you how grateful I am to Dr. John Filletta. And I really don't think I can. I don't think words can actually do it. I first met Dr. John Filletta 31 years ago. I was 6 years old. I'd been diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma. It's a rare and aggressive form of cancer. And my parents and I and family had been bounced around from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist, until we landed on Duke's doorstep. I didn't realize how lucky we were. I didn't know Dr. Filletta was a great doctor. I didn't know that he commanded one of the best programs in the country. What I knew is that I was scared. I'd been told that I had this disease, and people were poking me and prodding me in areas that I had never been poked or prodded before. I was afraid of the machines, I was afraid of the tubes, I was afraid of the needles. But one of the things I wasn't afraid of was the cancer. And I think that's in large part because of Dr. Filletta. Dr. Filletta has a presence about him. He comes into your room, his presence it commands trust. It commands confidence. And for my trust and confidence, his presence, just his presence, gave me comfort. He would come in and he would sit down and we would have thumb wars. And if you don't know what a thumb war is, you grab the other person's hand and you try to pin their thumb. Now I know what you guys are thinking. He's a grown man. He's a healthy man. I'm a 6-year-old invalid. He's gonna win every time, right? you'd be wrong. I was blessed with very, very strong thumbs as a child. It's genetic. My mother has strong thumbs. So even though there I was, 90 pounds, tubes running in and out of me, I had the thumbs of a lumberjack, and I was able to hold my own. In all honesty, I really don't remember who won or who lost, and that doesn't matter. What matters is now that 31 years later, my wife and I can have a thumb war. 31 years later, my parents can sit here and wonder where they went wrong as their son addresses a group of strangers and talks about his thumbs. 31 years later, I'm still here. And, and I may not be perfect, but, I definitely need to shave. But I owe Dr. Folletta for that. My wife owes Dr. Folletta for that. My parents owe Dr. Folletta for that. And I'm just one of hundreds, thousands of children who have been able to live a life past cancer because of Dr. John Folletta. Because of Dr. John Folletta, my family is just one of many who have been able to avoid the anguish of losing a child. Folks, I'm beyond honored to be here tonight, and I'm beyond honored to present to Dr. John Folletta the very first ever Ronald McDonald House Heart of Gold Award.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you all. You're very kind. Thank you, Brian. Beth and Tim, thank you. Thank you, Hal. Thank you, Oy. I gotta say thank you is the theme for me for this evening. This is very special, and you don't get to hear those kind of words very often, and you certainly don't get to hear them about yourself very often, and I cherish that. Thank you. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to work toward, and I hope we'll continue to do that through this mechanism, through the Ronald McDonald House, through the Durham Ronald McDonald House, through the Ronald McDonald House, wherever you happen to move, because the idea is so seminal, so good, so important. And the children who benefit and the families who benefit are so important to us. There are two people that I'd like to pay particular attention to tonight. One is here and one is not. One is Martha Timmons, who is my right-hand person for many, many years. She helped me during the early days have time to be able to get away from the office, to get away from our practice, and do the work that was needed in order to get the Ronald McDonald House going. And that's very special. The other is not here, and he was also seminal and important in the development of the Ronald McDonald House in Durham, because he worked within Duke. Jerry Neville, as the executive director of the Duke Children's Classic, worked within Duke to break down barriers and to persuade people whom I didn't know yet how important it was to have a Ronald McDonald House in Durham. My parents raised me to think that people who have their health should help people who don't. I think probably your parents raised you the same way, because you're here tonight and you believe the same thing I do. I hope hope we all can continue to support our Ronald McDonald House. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing stuff. One of my roles was to try to find an appropriate award for Dr. Folletta. I mean, give me a break, you know? What am I going to do, buy him a country or something? You know, it's like, holy moly. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I would love to describe this award to you. This is called the Tree of Love and Hope. It's not what you think. This was commissioned from a wonderful artist in Wilmington named Elizabeth Singletary, who was just named Artist of the Year. And if you look very closely, everything in that painting is a little piece of paper, things like copies of the original blueprint from 35 years ago, minutes of the meetings from 1978 where they first started talking about the house, copies of the ceiling tiles that we have, or our rooms, or our children. On it, every piece, every leaf, every piece of trunk there is the heart and soul of the Ron McDonald House, just like Dr. Folletta. A unique award and a unique piece of incredible art for a unique person. We will, if you want, you put it back on there, and we'll bring this to your house later, so you don't have to worry about taking it home tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also want to let you know that every founding member of our house from 35 years ago is going to get a print of this piece because they're just as valuable to us. So thank you all for that. Yes. In any house, the center, the place where people go for comfort and warmth is the fireplace. And so we started thinking, here's the fireplace at our Ron McDonald House of Durham. It's where our families go. And we've actually had family members that after days and weeks of being so stressed out, actually just let emotion flow in front of the fireplace because it is so comfortable for them. And we thought it was fitting for that fireplace to be permanently named for Dr. John Folletta. To do that, we had a little fundraiser for close friends and people that wanted to help us and honor that. And through this group, we were able to raise over $60,000. As you look through these names, as they scroll across the screen, these are people who Dr. Folletta has touched in some way. And they are just a small sample of the people that Dr. Folletta has touched. Each one of these people wanted to contribute to something lasting to honor Dr. Folletta. And we were all very, very pleased to do that. Everybody here is a brick in that fireplace as well, because there would be no fireplace without people like you. And thank you coming from me and coming from our incredible team at the Ron McDonald House. It's sincere, but it still means something different when it comes from a family. So once again, listen as one of our families tells you just what the Ron McDonald House means to them.
Going through this, as stressful as it is, going through different doctors and different hospitals and diagnoses, it's just a lot to bear. You know, just being able to leave the room and let her walk up and down the hallway, and letting her go play, and letting her color, and meeting other people, and just being part of the world, but not in danger. You know, that's something that only the Ronald McDonald House can offer. Because I know that when people give gifts, they don't give them in order to get recognition. They don't give them in order to get something in return. When they donate to the Ronald McDonald House, they're not doing it to be anything other than an anonymous blessing to an unknown family that they may never ever get to meet. So, if I was face to face with a person who had given that gift, thank you is just not enough. The stress, the burden, the emotional burden, the financial burden, everything that you've taken off my shoulders during this small moment in our life has made the difference between me being like this for the rest of the world and being able to hold it together for her. It's made every difference, and it's a gift that I would never know how to repay.
Yay! Thank you, everyone.
How many folks have been moved right now in the last 30 minutes or so? I want to also thank Owie. I mean, he runs this thing, and he's just an amazing man, isn't he? He's very inspirational, gets you thinking about things and why you're here tonight. The Ronald McDonald House has been around for 35 years. What were you guys doing in 1980? How many were born? How many were alive? It's been a long time. In 1980, I was working at a McDonald's. I knew nothing about a Ronald McDonald House. I was just a teenager working at McDonald's. And to think that, like, we just saw that family right there, the Berkeley and her family, that families like that have been helped for 35 years in Durham. It's just amazing. Have you guys, yeah, let's hear it for the house. The house, you know, we got the great gift of $60,000. You know, it costs about $100 to have a family each night. So basically, what your friends have done, Doctor, is raised about 6,000 nights for somebody to stay there. There's 55 families. You can do the math how long that would go, but think about it, 6,000 nights. Now, the thing is, it costs $100. They do ask, the Ronald McDonald House does ask patients, if they could, to give $10. But most of them can't, and they never complain. They don't, that's fine, but they ask that. But think about it, they've got to come up with that. So we're able tonight with $60,000 to give 6,000 nights. So that is really amazing. So tonight we're asking you, by the way, there is no live auction. How many people thought there was a live auction tonight? Ah, so if you thought there was a live auction, you might have said, hey, I got a little money, I'm going to bid on the live auction, huh? Huh? Hi out there, huh? Well, what we'd like to do tonight in 2015 is not give 6,000 nights. We'd like to give 10,000 nights. 10,000 nights for these folks that can't afford it, that can come to town. And boy, if you've been to the Ronald McDonald House, I'm telling you, I was there a month ago before the snow hit, and if you were to stay in a place as good as that at a hotel, it'd be $200 a night at least. I mean, it is an amazing place, and that fireplace, and it's just home. It is like a home. So what we're asking here tonight is, if we'd like to get up to $100,000, we have $60,000. So we need, who wants to do the math for me? Who can do it? $40,000 to help the Ronald McDonald House. So what I'm going to ask you guys right now is, especially if you were planning on a live auction, and even if you weren't, in the goodness of your heart of what you've seen here and what we'd like to accomplish tonight, is we'd like you to pull out your phones, Because guess what? You know, your phones had all the silent auctions. When you pull out your phones now and go to that, you're going to see a place where you can give money. Isn't that electronic and cool? So if you do that right now and you start giving money, we're going to see the totals rise, and we're going to mention your name as it comes up on the screen. And what we'd like to do, excuse me? Yes, sir. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, I'll do that. Thank you very much. Wow. Karen King, the Chief People Officer of the McDonald's Corporation out of in Chicago, pledges $10,000 to get this started. So that would be $70,000. So now we're asking you guys just for 30. And you know, we think there's about 400 people in here, and I did the math. And if everybody would just give $75, guess what that adds up to? 75 and 400 does add up to 30,000, unless my math minor failed me. So it's not like we're asking you to pull out and give thousands, and we'll take it. We'd take another 10,000 and get even closer, but we'd love you to give some money right now. And if everybody can do this as a family, like the Ronald McDonald House is a family, if you can all think of yourselves as one big family and start giving some money, we can get up to $100,000. Don't you think? All right, well, don't be shy. Okay, look, let's see right here. There we go. So we've got, well, how do we get 8,000? We want to thank Deborah Sundell. But wait, I'm confused. That should at least say, was that 8,000 on top of the 60 would be, or 70 would be 78,000? Owie, help me, Owie. I don't know the answer to that. Here's on it, all right. All right, we're looking for you to pull out your phones and you can give money. And you know, once this is done, once we get to the 100,000 and you've given 10,000 nights, is that right? 10,000 nights, we'll get into some dancing and some music and a Duke basketball game. State's losing, by the way, but let's not go there right now. I predict that if you were to give money to the Ronald McDonald House, State would come back. Remember 1983? Let's see. Oh, they're only down by 1. So they were down by 3 the last time I checked. They're only down by 1. Let's have some money come up there, and we'll see what happens. You guys have been great. You've supported the Ronald McDonald House, and like I said, we're just looking for 10,000 nights. We've gotten the 6,000 nights. If we could help out here, and we'll give up. And boy, Karen King is great because she made it a lot easy for everybody to give money. All right, now we're correct. All right, now here we go. We're at 77,530. So you guys have given $7,000 in here since we started. Valletta Friends, Heather McLean. Let's go, baby. Charles Dias. Daniel Adams. Look at that heart fill up. Carrie Norton. Katie Jones. Hey, Katie! The Katie Jones fan club back over there. Jeff Coates and Jeff Coates again. Zachary Hanlon. Wayne #Randall. Jeffrey Abbey. Ree Stroud, Rachel Lyons, we're up to 80. We're down to $20,000 to go. It's amazing. Paul Enquist, Dr. Yowell, and Dr. Yowell again. The Dr. Yowell table. He helped nurse my wife when she was pregnant. All right, Jeff Langdon, Anna Derigo. Anna, you go for it, girl. Stephen Couch, Chris Thorpe, April Devi, #whatever, Kirsten Whelan, Robert Taylor. You guys deserve to cheer. Teeny Salzano, Paula Steele. See, everybody doing a little brings this up, and with so many people here today, we should do this. Thad Williamson, Paula Steele, Steve McCraney coming up there. Hey, Steve. Oh, look at that. Ira Shemenefetz. Caitlin Harrell, Marilyn Hockenberry, Tara Gardner. They got a good, hey you guys, they got a good section going out there. Let's get it going on the inside here too. Robert Goforth, Kristen Drew, Christine Van Loo, David Tyson, Doug Howard, Kelly Keats. Hey, Kelly. David Tyson, Michael Cousins, Lynn Wonsinski, or Sky, Daniel Martin, Terry Nyer. Well, I see some more little, are those like jelly beans going into the heart or something? But there's little candies filling up the heart. That's pretty cool. Terry Stidham, Tracy Stidham. Again, Chris Sanders, Campbell, Mount Campbell. Sally Graham, Feedy Sebring, Terrence Campbell. That's an interesting name, Andrew Martin. Joel Graybeal. I take it you guys are like putting your name in here and it's coming up however you spell it. I see who's had a lot to drink. Fritz and Kathy Willis. Charles Norman. Robert Jacques. Pam Dowdy. We're up to 84,000. Jay Davis. Joel Beal. Lily Engelhart. Erica Smith. Stephen Williams. Or Stephen. Never mind. Chris Sanders. Sarah Davis. Sean Kuhn. Oh, look at the more hearts coming in. We're up to 89,000, guys. Cindy Noel. Daniel S. Bailey, come on. Day Reynolds. Edith Poinier. Grant with a capital N Richards. Hugh McCullen. What now? Oh, I got something. Is this to open? Is this, okay. To the Ronald McDonald House of Durham from Denny and Susan Meshaw of Cary. Let's see what this is. It is a check for $200. Let's add it to the total. Thank you very much. Dewey Meshaw Jr., $200. Will that get added in there? Let's add that in there. Somebody's doing it. All right, Benede Brochard, Rachel Lyons, Vanessa Rayner, we're so close to 90. Elizabeth Stewart, Renee Tyre, who's going to put us over 90? Lauren Rosenquist. Cindy is. Cindy, come on, we got to get some more. John Musante. 9 Tiffay Nell. And Julie Tubergello. Greta Handley. BTCYSMCALI. Patricia Theron, Gina Kidd. Sherry McWhirther, Michael Agar. Laura Mofffield. Richard Hammond. Free hashtag Dexmer. Jeff Mezev. Charles Halford. What key is near the hashtag that people keep putting that in their name when they're typing their name? Richard Tommy. Robert Goforth. Don Lee. Let's at least get to 90, folks. Come on, we got to get to 90. Laura Gorey. Mary Stevenson. Jerry Bernstein. Tracy Stidham. Jason Saylor. Scott Mofield. Greta Hanley. Oh, I see more candy going in. We're getting close. Mark Peel. E. Lewis. Oh, we got 90 now. Heather Ostenkamp. Bruce Wunner, exclamation point. Barry Traub. Stephanie Tucker. F. Diaz. Fred Ham. F. Diaz over there, everybody. Fred Hammonds, Thad Williamson, Andrew Osborne, Donald Prock, and Steve Power. Greta Hanley. How about Greta Hanley again? Ryan Chapman. Marianne Fuchs. And back to the Folletta friends. Oh my gosh, what just happened? You did it! You did it! Damn it! But Louisville's ahead by 7. But anyway, who cares? That's basketball. That's a game. This is something that's going to help children. You've created 10,000 nights for all these children. The Ronald McDonald House thanks you. You guys deserve yourselves, once again, a round of applause. And in there, too, everybody. Cold. All right, the weather's cold. Because this is a winter fest, even though we got delayed a month because of the snow. All right, well, you guys, you've done it. Now you can kick back. 1980, I'm trying to think what music I was listening to in 1980. Terrible music, did somebody say? Rock and roll. I was thinking The Clash, The Who, but I'm sure there's some disco in there too. So we're going to ask you to enjoy. I think the Duke game is going to come up when it comes up at 9:40. We want you to sit back and enjoy the evening with the 1980 band. I forgot the name of it. It's on my sheet. Forgot the name of the band that's going to play. Hold on. Oh, yeah. All right. I don't have the name of the band. But it's a 1980 dance party, so forget The Clash and The Who. It's going to be all Donna Summer and stuff like that. But that'll be fun. Earth, Wind, and Fire. It'll be cool. And the pavilion monitors will show the basketball game. So get ready to enjoy your evening. Once again, I'm Bill Ray. I've been honored to be part of this. Owie, who did all the work. Let's give him another round of applause. Mitzi did a lot of work. We could start naming everybody. But you all did a lot of work. So thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Folletta. You're well-deserved honoree. Thank you, guys, and have a great night.